Today we are going to do another subscription addiction. Excited to hear that you guys like this series. I know there's like a billion subscription box options out there for absolutely everything under the sun. I want to show you guys as many as possible. A particular genre of subscription box, there we go, that I've had a lot of people ask about are the cooking subscription boxes. These pretty much are the boxes where they will send you the food and the recipe and then you cook it at home. When I was first told about these, I'm not gonna lie to you, gotta be honest, I really kind of was like, why? You know? But I got in contact with Home Chef, which is one of the brands that does this, and wanted to try it out for you guys because I wanted to give it a fair try. The way you do it, you go on the website, you choose how many meals you want for a week. They sent 3 meals with 2 portions each because, you know, I was making it for me and Paul. You know, you can pick, do you want meat? Do you want to be vegetarian? Do you want shellfish? Do you want gluten? Are you looking for low calorie? It gave you a lot of options, which I thought was kind of neat. I chose the one with the meat, and I chose no shellfish because Paul and I are not really about shellfish at all. I like sushi, and that's about the extent of my fish exploration. So I picked all of those out and it auto-selected a couple of meals for me. It auto-selected 3 different meals, and when I went onto the website, they have a whole bunch of meals that you can choose each week. You can change that before your date. Then you pick the date that you want the food to arrive, and that's about it. And the thing I thought was interesting is it said, okay, here's the date that your food's going to arrive. You don't need to be there when it arrives. And of course I'm sitting there like, there's a lot of meat in there, that's kind of weird. Sure enough, showed up when they said it would, and everything was still cold. And when you open it up, there's a binder that has pictures of each of the recipes and step-by-step instructions with photos for each of those. Each of the meals has its own bag of stuff. So for example, the first meal that I made was the turkey chili. Everything pretty much that I needed. The only things that none of these included was olive oil, salt, and pepper. And then of course the pan and everything to cook it in. Included everything else in just the right amount. So the first one, like I said, it was a turkey chili with cheddar cheese and then with avocado. And I followed the recipe, you know, it had pictures for each of the steps, which I really liked, and I made everything and it was delicious. Then the next night we made the Flatiron steak, which it was a Flatiron steak with balsamic Brussels sprouts, which is, if anyone ever tells you they don't like Brussels sprouts, you need to create, like, the way that this recipe showed me how to do it was to cut them in half, have them, the inside part down, leave them on the pan for a while, add a little bit of balsamic vinegar and water, cover it so that it steams them, and then they're caramelized and delicious and cooked. They were so good, and I'm always one that's like Brussels sprouts because you know, they got kind of a stigma to them, don't they? But they were really good. And then whipped mashed potatoes. Then the third day, I didn't take any pictures or video, but the third day was grilled chicken with grilled vegetables and cherry chimichurri sauce. So I gotta tell you guys, totally honest, I really ended up loving this. And the reason I loved it was because even though I have the ability to go to the store and get what I need to create stuff, I love cooking and I still find myself not motivated to do it, not excited. I'll buy products, I'll buy chicken, I'll buy stuff, and then I'm just like, I don't know what to do. So I have to tell you, it was really cool to have these little bundles of food and ingredients all ready to go, and I enjoy cooking, so I actually really liked the fact that, you know, I got to prepare it. It had just like the exact amounts that you needed, so there was no waste. I also liked it because, you know, I get scared. I love cooking, but I get really nervous with cooking meat because I'm always afraid I'm going to either overcook it or undercook it. And the directions were very clear on how long to, you know, keep the steak on, how long to keep the chicken on. And I used an external thermometer that I have to be able to check, and everything was cooked perfectly. And it really was because of those directions being really thorough. It kind of reminded me of those videos on Facebook that are like a minute long and they show you the steps but in picture form. And it had all the directions written out really simply, so you can understand it. It was in layman's terms, so to speak. You know, final thoughts, everything tasted delicious, and the cool thing was that I made it, you know? I mean, they send you the ingredients, but at the end of the day, you're still saying, I made this. It wasn't from some fancy place. I did this. And I really liked that. I ended up actually getting it for another week because I just really liked, I really liked that it just showed up at the door. It was just enough ingredients. I wasn't throwing anything away because that's generally what happens when I go to the grocery store. I buy too much stuff and then I forget to cook it, or I don't cook it and it ends up going in the trash because it goes bad before I decide what I want to do. So having these meals delivered in the exact portions and knowing exactly what you're gonna make, it just made life easier, and everything tasted really good. So I gotta say, you know, based off of that, definitely recommend it. I have a link below for a coupon code as well, so that you guys, if you want to try it, you can get a discount on it. If you have a busy schedule, you can't get to the grocery store, I mean, you still have to make the food, so there's that, but if you enjoy cooking, it's totally a cool idea because you get to try different recipes and, you know, kind of broaden your cooking skills. At least I feel like I did. I've never cooked a steak before. Paul always cooks the steaks, but my steak was bomb and it made me feel really awesome. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it just because I had that thought in my head of I could do this myself, but I ended up really liking it and found that it made me excited to make dinner. So that's my thoughts. Let me know in the comments below any other subscription boxes you would like me to talk about or to review, and I will get on that for you guys. So I hope you guys are doing awesome, and I'll see you later.